It's Tuesday, July 12th, 2022, 7 o'clock p.m., and I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board Public Hearing Meeting to order. Notice was hereby given by the Town Board that public hearing will be held on this date of July 12th, 2022, for public comments on the proposed conditional use request made by Fred Wayne and Doug Foley for multi-dwelling units, 2 duplexes on 1.40 acres in an R1 zone at W8042 County Road B, Lake Mills. The Town Board will consider the request at the monthly board meeting, which is tonight. So I'll make the first call. Anyone would like to publicly speak on this proposal for a conditional use permit? Nobody? Make the second call. Does anyone want to speak on behalf of the conditional use permit?
So I'm Doug Foley. When would I speak about it now or during the meeting?
For the applicants, it'd be during the meeting.
During the meeting,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is for public comment, yeah.
This is for public comment, yep. Okay, no seconds, no seconds. Third call for anyone that wants to speak on this conditional use.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Public hearing is closed at 7:02. The end it is 7:02. I'd like to call on July 12th, 2022, and I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board to order.
Make a motion to adopt July's agenda.
Second the motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries to approve tonight's agenda. We get a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to
June
approve.
14th.
Yep, June 14th, regular town board meeting minutes.
Second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries to approve the minutes from June 14th, 2022. Approval of the treasurer's report.
Oh, we got other minutes.
Two more. Make a motion to
Oh,
approve,
my bad, yep.
minutes of public hearing that was held
June-
on
June
June
20.
14th, 2022.
Second.
Oh, public hearing, yep, got it. Yep, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
And there was another meeting on,
June 29th.
make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All opposed say nay. Motion carries to approve the minutes for June 29th. All right, now we are approval of the treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve the July 2022 treasurer's report.
Second.
Do you want to give me your idea how long you want me to renew the CD that's coming due?
Was that 14th month one? This one.
We've got scheduled
You want a
to
yellow?
go back here.
Yeah. That was best interest, wasn't it? 1.4?
Yeah.
The one in yellow was the best. Unless you don't want to tie it up that long.
And unless that's a new one, if it's a new one, how long do you want me to go then, a year or?
Well, it's 14 months.
14 month, it says here.
Yeah, but if that one is for new money, I'm not sure.
Oh,
Sometimes specials are for new money, then we have to go to either one down here a year or.
Well, it's not too long, I guess.
Just a year?
I wouldn't go any more than a year.
Yeah,
The interest
I think
rates
so.
are probably
Or
gonna,
do you want to go shorter? 6 months?
my preference. I don't know, if the feds are gonna raise the interest rates or not.
We're talking another 3/4 of a point.
So I'd wait, I'd go the shortest, I guess, 6 months.
6 months? Okay.
These guys agree with that.
Well, we have the 91 day too.
Pardon?
We got the 90.
Let's see how much it's here. 10.10.
It's not the same. It's just Otherwise, 6 months is fine. I don't know how many times it's gonna change in that period.
I'll make a motion to approve the 6-month CDA.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
And I want to make one other announcement that for anybody who's got to pay their taxes the end of July, make sure you send them to Jefferson County Treasurer, not to me, because I can't process them, and then they can be considered late. So make sure any second installments go directly to the county.
Treasurer.
The other thing I was wondering on the treasurer's report, I see, the Pro-Bill Oasis.
Yep.
And then on the receivables, it says that they paid, so is that the same check, Sharon?
It reimburses.
It reimburses?
Yes.
So, okay. I was wondering what we're gonna do now.
I think we have to ask for cash there.
All in pennies, right?
Yeah, pennies. Can we
The
get a
question
motion
needs to be
approve
called yet a treasurer's report.
Yeah, can we get a motion to approve?
Jim
the
did,
treasurer?
I seconded it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the treasurer's report. Expense sheets, I don't think we had any, Rob.
We did,
We did?
the expense sheets of those. I have those out. I think I'm the only one.
Well, maybe there was
Well,
one in there.
does Jim's need to
Just
be?
not-
Jim had one because he paid for the evaluation of the,
Okay, I saw that one,
so that
And
one's in there.
Tom had
like
one.
20. We approved mine last month.
We approved Tom's last month, so that's just mine. I haven't been making copies because we've been in person, so shuffling more paper.
You need to see this.
I saw it on the disbursements.
Yes. I had to get stamps for more absentee
Yeah, okay.
ballots.
Yeah, we're good.
I think the price is
I don't
down
need
for
to see
nothing
anymore.
I saw.
Yeah.
You might have to add.
Yeah, they could cover that too. I'll make a motion to approve both of the expense sheets.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Yeah.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve general fund vouching?
I'll make a motion to approve $68,839.89 for July's disbursements.
Second motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to approve the general fund vouching. Reports, police report. Mr. Miller.
All right, Sergeant Miller. Month of June was kind of slower. I'll start with the patrol. We had a total of 42 hours of patrol time on the road. One complaint, 4.5 hours on that complaint. 16 traffic stops, 6 traffic warnings, 10 traffic citations. 7 hours were spent on speeding enforcement. 2 residence checks, 5 park checks, and 9 hours with administrative work. As far as the boat patrol goes, at 25.5 hours on the water. 1 citation was issued during that time. That's what I have for that part.
Okay. Plan commission.
I do have operator's license, I just got that checked. I don't know when you guys are talking about that, but that's
It's
on-
coming up.
It's coming up, just
Okay.
the applications. Yeah, we'll ask you again.
I have a question on communication now. Kind of don't have a chief. If you get an email on an issue, who is it going to?
I've been sending to the email, the chief's email, as well as the general police email, and sometimes, depending on what it is, I'll take whomever,
Land or water.
road, water, Allen for administrative stuff, so. Try to cover all the bases when necessary.
All right.
Plan commission.
We had the 3 petitions, the conditional use for Fred Wayne, Doug Foley, where the 2 duplexes was passed on to the town board for approval. Discussion and decision of Ed Nelson Land Division was approved by the plan commission. And the driveway permit for the wine can residence was approved with a variance of 6 feet. And I can explain that when we get to that item.
Thanks, Jim. Cambridge Fire and EMS report. Dave.
Our last meeting was in the Christiana Town Hall. Still looking for ways of being able to upgrade and make the Cambridge Fire Station safer. Seems how the referendum did unanimously pass. There's a couple things that came up that we can take out of the, if we put them in the new state or old station, we can take them out and put them into the new station, which one of the exhaust system. A lot of times what happens is the driver of the engine, when they get in, they usually start the fire engine and then it runs inside the building until the full crew arrives. So it does get a little bit smoky and obviously carcinogens and all that good jazz. So that system is, I think it's quite expensive, like about $30,000. But that would be a system you could take out and put back in. The other thing we're looking at is putting a small addition onto the building so we can get the turnout gear out of the mezzanine bays where everybody passes through. But the issue with that is that would be something that would be built and then tore down, so it would be a total loss. So we're just kind of table that a little bit for now. On the EMS side, the discussion was about authorizing the looking for a new ambulance for 2024 order, but probably would not be delivered until 25 or 26. Right now, we're looking at around $325,000, but all of the 23 orders are full, and they haven't priced the 24, so there was no authorization to buy one. It was just to search out and take a look at and see if we could get one for $325. I'm not really super in favor of buying a new ambulance. Normally what we've been doing is Wanakee has been replacing their ambulances every 5 years, and we've been able to get a whale of a deal, 2 for 1 almost. Buying those, the last 2 ambulances that they bought, they decided they were going to keep them a little bit longer, but now after talking with them about a month ago, they're thinking about doing the same thing a lot of other services are talking about doing, rather than replacing 2 of their ambulances at the same time, about splitting them up and then replacing 1 every 3 years. So, Paul Hunt, our chief, and I are working with Wanakee to see, because they're not really quite sure, how many miles are going to be on it, how much they're going to want for it, is it going to be available. And obviously everybody likes new, but they usually take pretty good care of their ambulances, so we're still fishing through that. The other thing is talking with the other commissioners. Right now it kind of looks like Paul, our chief, and probably more likely the chair, would like to sit down and have a meet and greet with you 2 guys. All 3 of us together. We've been flirting on a little bit with numbers, nothing solid, and I've been pushing them to, we really need to have something to look at other than just a meet and greet. So we're looking at potentially a equalized value or the per capita, or maybe a mix of both. Talking with our medical director, at first she was saying that anything south of the interstate would be acceptable for response time. Now she's kind of reconsidered a little bit. If the Lake Nose fire was going to be first responder, that Cambridge would be willing to take on all the town of Lake Nose as their EMS service. And right now it looks like the furthest away point in the town from Cambridge Fire EMS would be about 12 minutes. So, obviously this is just talk. So I could talk with Paul a little bit more, see, but they would like to have a meet and greet. Something small.
I have no problem with
Yeah,
Good?
Yeah,
set a date,
Okay, I'll do
get
that.
some dates.
yeah, just let us know a few dates and
Sure.
we'll
Yeah.
make it work some way somehow.
Always, that was really kind of about it.
Robin will have to have enough notice to post it, so whatever that is.
Yeah,
48
I'm gonna be
hours.
gone the next 2 weeks. so
Minimum,
we'll do it.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
24 is really, but that's not very,
We have to go another EMS meeting.
And maybe that gives a little more time to prepare something.
Right.
Cool, awesome.
should I?
We gotta do some more budget work to see.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, Dave, thanks for that report.
Yep.
Joint Rock Lake Committee report.
Well, our last meeting's tomorrow night, so I don't have any reports.
Okay. All right, town chairman report, city, county, state communications. Ben had emailed about the county, finally got back to us. They've had a lot of stuff going on, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything as to when there may be a countywide EMS type meeting. As far as the city is concerned, I think there's a little more concern now, maybe among a couple of the council members, that the townships should be meeting with the city on more of a quarterly basis for police, fire, and all the emergency services, to keep those communications lines open, which I think is a great idea, to make sure, everyone is cooperating and working together. So that's on the radar, and hopefully that'll come to fruition. Otherwise, just the normal EMS stuff that we've been sitting through, the work session we sat through at the city, to discuss and basically listen to a bunch of the options. The city's having a meeting tonight. Essentially what I heard was just to kind of go through what they're kind of leaning towards, so when we come back to the table, July 28th, which we've been invited to, that they have some, they have a few ducks in a row, and then I want to run that past the townships and get our viewpoint and all that stuff. So that's kind of where they're at. As far as the township, our chief of police that we did hire, it took the interim chief of police at the city, because obviously the city chief of police vacated. So left us without a chief of police again. So we're going through that process again right now. Obviously got the quick report from Robin as to how things are being handled in the time being. As far as roads, been spending a lot of time on roads, just surveying the damage. The county did fix, I believe, most of the damage. I got around to most places that I had marked from the washouts. So they did a pretty good job. I did not make it to London Road. I don't know if they got that one or not.
Yeah, I haven't even been down there yet.
But they're not done yet either. I mean, they basically were able to break away from their duties on the highway project over there, and were able to get a bunch of at least the bigger ones done for us, which was good. Most of the asphalting and potholing is done. They got those areas in the gutterways and stuff fixed. Down on Park Lane, there was a couple spots that needed patching and redone that we had gotten the estimates for. That's done. So that's all in good shape. And now I'm going through and looking at trees and essentially brushing and some things like that. And there are a few spots that we do need to brush, but so far it's been at least on a need base only for safety, especially with our finances right now and as far as roads are concerned. I think you guys saw the thing from Corey on the Crossman project, on the two ideas there. Obviously, I like not having a guardrail, not having to spend money on a guardrail in the future to maintain it, but that's just me.
That's an agenda item.
yeah.
So,
Tom, have you heard anything out of the city, on the last meeting that was, the workshop we had, they talked that Steve Wilkie had received an offer from a private service. Has that information ever came out?
Private service for...
EMS?
Actually, I did hear that. Actually, I talked to Greg this afternoon. Thanks for reminding me. He said Ryan Brothers submitted something like 2 days ago.
Okay, but we don't know.
We don't know what it is.
Yes, it is.
So they just got it. So I don't know where the disconnect on that whole thing was, but but anyways, yeah, they did receive something for that.
Okay.
Skirting back to roads, there was a sinkhole starting in the gully on Short Hills Road, so the city came out and checked that from Public Works because it was in line with the sewer caps. And they did whatever they need to do, and they weren't overly concerned about it. So Northwest actually patched that one too right away, since we almost had a biking accident in it. And then I just got a report today from Tyson from the county that there's another hole down by those bunch of those red buildings on Stony Creek Road, right in the middle of the road where that big culvert is. So there's obviously maybe a culvert leak or something going on there. So I talked to Brian already before the meeting, and we're going to arrange a date to look at that culvert and look at the other culvert that we need to cut yet. So, because I want to get some ideas on that as well.
Well, that would qualify for a
Bridge aid.
Bridge aid.
Yeah,
For next year.
right.
Yep. That's all I have for roads. ETC committee report,
Nothing.
Parks committee report. They did not meet. I don't know if there's
Didn't have a
anyone.
quorum.
Didn't have a quorum. Yep, I was out of town and somebody else was absent. Somebody had an illness or COVID strain going around or something, so. Town Hall Facilities Committee.
All right, so we worked on getting the evaluation completed for the town hall. So we'll be discussing that at the next meeting. We met with Lee of HSR. He'll provide us some revised plans based on the discussion that we had with Alan and some of the other board members that were there and such. So by next month, we should have a revised sort of rough draft preliminary plans. Talked about discussions. There's only a few possible in the corridor along Highway S, which is the central area of the town. We reviewed the timeline to make sure that the project's going to fall in the right times for if we have to go to referendum for elections. And then we were discussing further as to whether or not we need to go referendum versus just having the approval of the electors at a special meeting.
There was an article in this last news
I saw
magazine
that.
from WTA on
Yeah.
that, so it sounds like a special meeting is all that's needed.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Excellent, thanks, Robin. Now's the time for a period of public comment. If anyone has anything publicly to say, now is the time to do that. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Please state your name and address when approaching the podium. Quiet bunch out there tonight.
We're waiting for the agenda items.
Applications, discussion and/or decision, special event permit request made by Jordan Nichols of the Cambridge Community Activities Program for the Lake Ripley Ride event on July 30th.
And he was not sure if he'd make it. Is there anyone that was able to make it? No. Okay. That's why I talked to you about this afternoon, that they
That
might
was
be able
the
to make it.
ride.
Right.
Yep. And I remember Matt specifically talking about this one last year, and for Kevin's reference, it's one that I think he expressed that they've never had any problems with. It's a fun ride sponsored by the
Yeah, I know,
Recreation Department.
Brian Walters had looked, I believe this one he had looked over and said it would look good.
Yeah.
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 So I think I'm good with everything that was here.
Make a motion to approve the special event for Saturday, July 30th.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say
Well,
aye.
hang on just to say, the only thing that I would suggest that we need to get back to with these folks is, Highway A, they are going to be paving the section between 18 and where the new construction was a couple years ago. They're gonna be putting down the binder starting tomorrow, and hopefully they can finish it on Thursday. And then they were gonna do the top coat, the whole length, beginning next week. But by the time they get it shouldered, that could be closed for 2 more weeks. And then, I don't know if they're gonna start right on Highway S right away after that, so I guess they're gonna have to keep an eye on Highway S and the short run on A. If it's still open, they may have to reroute this.
I can find out from Brian, because I don't even know. They were talking about end of August, September, so there might be a gap period in there around that time.
And it'll be passable.
I think they're gonna have to check with the county, I mean, more than
I think
anything.
we could inform them they should check with the county, because they can
Yeah.
reroute it off of London Road, have them go through the Zaleski Marsh, and connect back up to Highway
Right,
S.
that's what I was thinking too.
And
so
not change
we'll just
the
have to
rest
see.
of it.
Which the other thing, that road is closed, it's not a detour, but the state patrol gave it 54 tickets in 2 hours. So, just a word of warning, going up and down that road, if they start paving, they generally are not really super friendly about cars going up and down that road, so, just FYI.
We do have a second on the table.
Yep.
You want to amend that, or we're good?
I think
it's just a matter we
It's
communicate
just
with them.
communicating it out.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And motion carries to approve the special event.
And if they do need to make a change, I'll just ask them to forward an updated map to us.
What day is that supposed to be on again?
July
July
3rd.
30th. Which they would not be working that day, but if there's no shoulder, it's just, yes.
Might be a little tough on the street bikes.
Yep.
At least it's not like a race.
Right, yeah, it's just a casual.
Yeah. Discussion.
More serious.
Discussion and or decision of request of conditional use made by Fred, Wayne, Doug Foley for multi-dwelling units, 2 duplexes, 1.401 acres in R1 zone, W8042 County Road B.
So, I'm kind of new to this process, so I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I appreciate input from Rob and Jim. So we are considering buying this piece of property, and we're actually kind of familiar with it because we owned that condo for about a year while we were building the house in Lake Mills, and so we kind of got to know Fred from walking our dog in the back of his property. But we always thought when we owned it, that it was such a nice piece of property, and that, if we ever sold it, it would be a nice one to develop. So what we're proposing to do is to build, it was either going to be a 4-plex or 2 duplexes, and we're kind of leaning towards 2 duplexes for this. So this is kind of how we've got it set up, and actually these buildings were condominiums up in Door County that we knew about from a marina that we lived in. And so I actually have these construction plans. They're not finished yet. This is what we're proposing to build, but they actually happen to fit nicely within the building envelope currently. So the only thing we would need to do is move the driveway from over here to the east side, and I think we got verbal commitment from the county road today.
Yeah.
That was not going to be a problem. And the other thing that we would need is to add 3 sewer lines to this, and Steve Wilkie gave us a verbal commitment that was going to be okay as well.
The driveway is going to be a private driveway. It's not going to be dedicated back to the town or anything like that.
No, it's just going to be a private driveway. And so it would go up and around. These are garages in the back, so the entrance to the garages would come up and be at the back of the property.
Okay.
I've got a drawing with This is a depiction of what the front of the two buildings would look like and the sides. And then, so yeah, these would be the garages in the back. This is the first floor, which has a living, dining, kitchen area, about a 10 by 20 foot covered patio. Each of the buildings, each unit is about 2,100 square feet. And then upstairs is 3 bedrooms, a master with another 10 by 20 foot deck, and 2 other bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Lake Point is what we kind of decided on as far as the name. This isn't the building, but this is what we propose that it will look like when we're done as far as the colors and design. And I think one of the other buildings that we were proposing to put on is a gazebo. One of the things that I remember when we lived at the Rock Lake Condo Association, is they had a gazebo right there. And every day at 4:30, everyone got together and had, brought their own drinks. And so, as far as this association, I'm going to bring that back because that was such a great thing. So, that would be the spot. Obviously, this is a conceptual plan. We will eventually have the construction plans, the erosion plan, the irrigation plan, all together before we come back before this body. But as far as the application for conditional use permit, I just wanted to kind of present that so you kind of knew what we were thinking of doing.
I don't know.
It's an R1 zone.
It's R1 zone.
The only thing is, at Plan Commission, I did discuss with you and gave you my notes as far as,
Yeah.
you're gonna file a condominium plat, the state.
And I was hoping to have that today.
Well, you don't need it today.
Yeah, the surveyor didn't quite have it done, but this is what he sent me yesterday as far as he has it in process, so.
Okay, so will definitely be a condominium, which that puts them under our land division subdivision ordinance. So they
Okay.
have to comply
With that
he stated
ordinance. Yep.
I mean, I'm in favor of this, I think it's great, but we just want you to follow the process and submit all the drawings, the erosion plan, like you said, which our engineer will review along with the drainage study for that site, because you're gonna have more hard surfaces, so, and you mentioned something, maybe a retention pond in the front.
Yeah, we're proposing to do kind of a dry wet curve.
It's low there anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of water.
There's already fluid, but instead of having it drain all the way down the lake, we can kind of create a dry wet prairie. And I suspect the county probably has a seed mix that would be specific for that we would use.
Yeah, and I know there's water issues along County B there, it's always been a problem, because it dumps right by the tunnel that goes under the road, so it takes a lot of water. So that would be reviewed by our engineer also, and all that's laid out in the subdivision ordinance,
Which I've downloaded after,
All right.
so
Good.
I have one.
good. And then the only other thing in there that would be the HOA covenants, any covenants that you have for those owners that will be filed with the deeds, we'll need to review them.
Yeah,
So-
and we actually have the template
All right.
since we spoke.
Excellent.
Oh, one other thing. There's a park stream. There's one unit there now. You're adding 3 more.
Yeah.
So there's $2,500 per unit, so it'd be $7,500 check to the town for parks.
The parks.
And when is that?
Oh,
As part of the process when we introduce the construction plans and the whole.
before you start, get a building permit, I think that's gonna need, but that's down the road.
Okay.
Just bringing it up now.
Sure.
That's in the ordinance too.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Just so you understand, the parks is in lieu of parkland, so you're not having to set aside parkland in this development. you're putting it towards a fund that can be used for new items in existing parks.
Sure. So that makes sense.
I'm assuming the county's gonna look at that drainage too.
Well, I would think they would.
Because it gets close
Because
to that
it
tunnel.
goes through their whole
Yeah.
process also.
Yeah.
I mean, Patricia was always involved in any subdivision we did, and Marissa's here now.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I make
Put
a
a big
motion,
rain garden in there, that'll help a lot.
I make a motion to approve the conditional use.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Just so I understand, once all these other items are put together and they move forward with this, they'll need to come back to the town and have these other items reviewed and approved.
They'll submit, it's all laid out in the subdivision
Okay.
ordinance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Good luck. Discussion or decision of request by Ed Nelson for a land division to create a 46.3 acre lot with an existing A1 zone off of Nelson Lane.
And before, I'll send you the signed copies via email, so you have them.
We're looking to split the cropland away from the farm buildings, but the farm buildings will still retain 46.3 acres, so there's no rezoning involved.
They're just creating 2 agricultural parcels
Correct.
from one.
Right. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Easy, Ed.
About the easiest I've seen.
And Ed, I will have them sign paperwork and email it to you as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Discussion or decision or request for a variance in a driveway permit plan by Andy Weber for North 6222 Court Highlands, Weedland residents due to indigenous mounds on the property.
Yeah, hi there, I'm the builder, Andy. Had a couple buy one of the remaining lots on the Shorewood Hills there down by Court Park. During the application process to We Energies, we, long story short, found out there were a couple Indian burial mounds located on the lot unknowingly to anyone involved. So we worked with the State of Wisconsin Historical Society on a couple different revisions and to reroute the driveway to avoid the mounds, which it's illegal to disturb, and also a 10-foot buffer or radius around those mounds. So rework the driveway, and in doing so now we're can accommodate, apparently as of last year there's a new town ordinance for a driveway access requiring minimum turning radius and some specifications for the driveway, and we can accommodate all of those requirements except as part of that ordinance is a 66-foot hammerhead driveway length, and with the design way we have it now, we can get up to 60 feet and not that 66 feet. So looking for a variance to accommodate that. I have a couple full-scale plans here if everyone wants to look in some.
Yeah, I think
Which ones?
all we have is this.
Yeah,
I
it's hard
blew
to
it
read
up on
this.
my phone, so I know what it is, but you can
Sure.
give that, take a look at it.
I assume there's a lot of trees in there, right?
There are a lot of trees, yes. We're stuck between kind of a rock and a hard place. We have the 2 burial mounds here, and then the grade severely drops off here. So a good portion of the lot is unusable. It's a kettle or a depression there. So we're trying to route the driveway through, and we just can't quite get to that 66-foot hammerhead rather than, so we're
That's a 60.
What's that right there?
This
That's
is,
the
That's a-
turnout,
this is-
it's garage.
That's a potential, it's not being, it's a potential boathouse. or
they need
detached
6,
garage.
they would need 66 feet from here to there. They only could have 60.
Okay. Yeah.
So the plan commission granted them the 6-foot variance, but I was looking at that again, and I was wondering if you could just follow that contour and do that and get your 6 feet.
Yeah.
Take this contour around and just,
I'll stop in here.
Yep.
you're the landscape.
I
He's a landscaper.
I work with Indiana grading plan on this one.
So I was talking, if you would follow this contour.
This contour right here,
And then
and come around.
square it off so you get your extra 6 feet back here.
Yeah, I think that's possible, but I don't, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure what the aim would be, because I think they're looking for 60 feet at the same width, same width.
Well, I think you get-
When I understand which.
Well, you don't need, you need 10 feet here, 66 feet by 10. Because you're not on the
So you
radius
would get
anymore.
that.
Yeah,
You get that.
6
if you
feet's not
followed
too
it.
far.
this is, let's see,
You can get your 10 easy there. Oh, yeah.
If you went like 10 feet from here over, and then drew 6 feet back, I bet you could make that work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just worth a try.
I think
I mean, you can follow this, can I draw it?
Yeah.
Just follow this radius, then you're not, or grade, then you're not changing anything as far as grade.
You're just gonna have a round corner elements.
Yeah, it's just, it's this steep is, the steepest of the slope is.
I know, but you're not encroaching on that contour line, so it haven't changed anything.
Right, just that.
Just something to look
From a paved surface to a soft surface, and then, we'd be talking here. So just a soft surface that can be graded in and kind of used in, the paved surface can only handle so much of that.
Yeah, with a piece fire too, wasn't it, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would solve that issue too, because they weren't in favor of it.
We were able to accommodate the 4-to-1 side slope next to the driveway. This area here has been graded up pretty substantially, so there is room for a tire to sort of go off the driveway in the event that they needed to do a quick turnaround there, and we're going to go up that 6 feet.
Good,
We're trying to avoid any retaining walls, is sort of the
sure.
thing. I'd hate to find out during construction that, there was an inaccuracy in the survey or whatever, that when we get that close to the property lines, a lot of times the information can start to be askew a little bit, and we already are sort of making a pretty big cut right along the property line here for this 120 contour, bringing it back up to here. If we found out that the limits of the survey, and this is that one, the property line's actually at 121, that's going to drag that 120 contour down pretty significantly in order to make a stable slope there. My preference would be that we can still get the variance granted. If we can perhaps say, if we're able to, we can extend that 6 feet. The other thing I'd probably have to, is probably not really important to you guys, is we're going to be leaning up against the allowable impervious surface on this lot, which any extra driveway space we've already created quite a bit. We're going to make it just exceedingly difficult to get the client their outer living space desired given the size of the home.
You worried about this side slope at all? Because Corey brought that up too.
They're meeting it.
Yeah, we're meeting the
They are
four,
gonna-
we're meeting the 4 to
They are
1.
meeting the 4 to 1.
They're gonna meet everything except that 66 feet there.
I think they can probably solve
Anybody
it.
talked to you about the 15 by 15, maintaining that for fire trucks and delivery vehicles and all that, for trees and branches, 15 feet wide, 15 feet high, and
I don't think that's going to be an issue because we're going to have to be clearing.
clearing so much.
We're going to clear all the way along here.
Okay.
Probably
Clear
8
yourself.
feet down for our filling anyways, so the 15 feet wide. The driveway right now is strong 14.
Okay.
So, the 6 or so feet that we're going to clear.
Just keeping in mind those things start to grow back.
Yeah.
Keep it,
Yeah, I think that'll be.
that's our ordinance is 15, 15.
I don't think they'll have a problem with this client maintaining that. They're gonna want it anyways for themselves.
Yeah, we see a lot of them grow in.
Yeah, I imagine that the vehicles and motors and things that they'll be bringing down this driveway from time to time is probably them too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Requirements, yeah. Ain't scratching it.
Not to mention all the Amazon deliveries that they're probably over.
Okay, can we regroup as a regular meeting here?
What's that, Ron?
Can we regroup as
Oh,
a regular meeting?
Yeah, I always wanted to see that. Because I couldn't read this other one. Well, I guess I would like to see him try to get that 66. I think it's
Pardon?
I mean, I haven't seen the site, but I would suspect, I mean, even if you had to build a little wall, it's doable. And that way, we don't have any issue with fire and, because they're, 1 foot off or 2 feet off, they're gonna say no.
So we did email the chief the information as well, and he said he wouldn't approve anything that deviates from the ordinance, but I
Ordinance.
don't think we really have a lot of say in this particular because of the state law on this, so.
Who doesn't have one say?
Well, when it comes to the burial mounds, and we
Oh,
have to worry
That
about
part of
those.
it, right, correct.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve a variance up to 6 feet with the caveat that you try to make it work with the 66 feet.
Hold on now. Okay, go ahead.
Second.
Any other discussion? You good, Robin?
I'm good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of operator licenses and manager license for Lake Mills Travel Plaza and Crowville Oasis.
Okay, so we've got, the original ones are listed there, and I know Crowville is needing additional servers. So we should have, all the background checks have been done. Sounds like Kevin just completed another one that's good. So we're looking for Storm Chicks, Kaya Bean, Samuel Pure, Hunter Donley, and the newest one is Trevor Benson. That one you would not have.
Trevor Benson?
Right, that one is a brand new one.
Kevin has that one.
And that's the one Kevin just did a background
Yeah, I
check.
did that before, that one's all good to go.
So all of them are good?
The ones, Robin, these are, the ones you listed off before, those are checked, right?
Those are all done.
Yeah, 'cause I remember Storm.
All of
checked.
these are done.
You don't forget anything.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah, and Hunter Donley was a late arrival too, but that was done as well by Alan,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, Trevor's one I just did, so you guys can have that one.
The only other thing is the Storm Chicks did not sign it again and got notarized. Everybody else does,
Correct.
so I wouldn't approve that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Or the table is the word.
maybe put the condition that it's approved, and I'll have the officers recheck that maybe.
All right, I'll make a motion that Storm Chicks be conditionally approved pending the signature and notarized signature.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Approvals on the rest of
And
them.
I'll make a motion to approve Kaya Beam, Samuel Paul Pure, Hunter Donley,
And then the last one was the
Trevor
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 Benson.
Benson.
Second. On all of them.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okey-doke. Old business, discussion or decision of status of Lake Mills EMS services, which has been tabled.
We're gonna discuss, I'll have to come off table.
I don't think there's anything to discuss.
I don't think there's tonight. All right, let's move on. Discussion and decision of cleaning services for town hall.
I have reached out to a couple and still nothing.
Okay, so we move on from that.
What are you looking for hours? I know some people who could be.
A monthly cleaning, probably 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe. We have it broken down. I can send you what the breakdown is, if it helps.
Okay.
Well,
know
it's
somebody.
$75 for a monthly clean.
Right.
We assume 3 hours at $25 an hour.
Right,
So that's what they would get. If it took them 3.5, they'd still get 75.
right.
They clean it 3 times a month?
No,
Once.
once a month,
Oh, just once a month?
right.
Okay.
And then for special, any special,
Like seasonal, like
There was a
spring
quarterly.
cleaning or fall
Yeah.
cleaning, it'd be,
$25 an hour.
right.
Okay, I'll reach out to some people, see if they're interested.
That would be helpful,
Thanks,
thank you.
Sergeant Miller. Discussion or decision of non-payment by the Jefferson County Drainage Board for reimbursements of work done under the Britsky Bridge.
Did you hear anything on it from the?
Well,
I would just ask for that.
We need to
this is the
figure out what
this is the
attorney
circle
we're using.
around back to
It's a
attorney.
hot potato. right?
No, well, the lead, the number one attorney that we wanted recommended somebody and he's willing to do it. And so we sent an email out to him, and I think I saw your email out to him with that initial letter.
With a summary of
with
everything.
the summary of everything.
That was what was his name, Mark?
Mark Hingston.
Hingston.
You from Racine? So
Yeah.
you that guy?
And I looked him up and everything, and he looks
Okay,
just.
so he's
the other ones.
proceeding.
So that would be my, recommendation, that we just move with that.
I was at the drainage board meeting on Monday, and there was an agenda item, but their response was that they had not heard any communications from the town, so they didn't know where it was at, and I wasn't about to
Open the can
No.
No, well, that's probably good, I mean,
Being that it's probably gonna be in court.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So there was nothing that happened on that agenda item.
So, I mean, I guess we're in the same mode we were last time, because we want legal advice before we make any kind of payment.
Yeah, everything was on hold so we could decide on
Yeah,
which
exactly.
attorney we're moving
So
forward
there's really
with.
nothing we can do with that.
Okay. So you don't need any motion or anything?
Probably could do a motion that
Just
we're
for the
gonna go with Mark.
Mark Hingston.
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 Thanks.
I think
Make a
that's how you
motion that
pronounce it.
we have Hingston, Attorney Mark Hingston, work on this for us.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision to propose guardrail at the south end of Crossman Road. There's cartwheel.
I agree with Corey's synopsis of this, that he would recommend going with a 4-to-1 slope, and he recommends purchasing land, which I agree with.
I agree with that too.
All you have to do is mow it.
Yep.
If it's needed right
And
now.
you eliminate the other
Yep.
maintenance later on down the road.
Yep.
So I make a motion that we purchase the land and go with the 4-to-1 slope and eliminate the guardrail.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. New business. Let me get my glasses back on here.
And before we go too far, what's the next step of this then? Are we gonna have, do we need to forward this to Eric?
Corey can
Corey.
just, yeah, I'll just let him know and
Okay.
he'll continue to progress
You're
forward.
gonna let
'cause-
him know, or should I let him know? Let's make-
Yeah,
Yeah, you just be taking.
yeah, I'll let him know.
Okay,
Because there's a little process he's got to complete. I think the survey is, the title or whatever was like $1,100 and there was something else. It's all procedural that they have to do. for the
okay.
plat.
Just wanna make sure we know who was
Keep
doing
going.
what. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, I'll send him an email.
Okay.
New business. A discussion or decision of request made by Marissa Ullman of Jefferson County Land and Water Department for a one-time exemption to the no motor ordinance on Mud and Hope Lakes and the town in order to complete a plant survey.
Marissa's here. You want to hear from her?
I don't really need to hear anything. I don't have an issue with it.
I don't either.
You did the
We
last
allowed it
time.
back in what, 2004, you said?
7.
7. 7. So she just needs to sign this and
Yep.
There's no notification or anything that we need to put out to the public or anything like this is going on, or,
I don't think.
okay.
just as long as
They
it's
probably won't read it
signed by
anyway.
the town board when you're out there. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day exemption for our 5-8 ordinance for the Marissa Ullman or the county department,
Second,
Any other discussion?
is your vote marked land conservation or anything?
No.
Okay. Maybe you can just put a piece of duct tape on it.
Make it real official.
And actually, the volunteer I have, I'm with Hope Lake is one of the landowners helping me with this.
Oh,
So
okay.
at least the landowners on Hope Lake will know, but Mud Lake, well, I guess would be the DNR, which I also made aware of plans because there was concern with navigability in that channel.
Okay.
So they know I'm planning to do that also, so.
And it's no big deal, it's just that if somebody sees you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm betting there won't be more than a handful of complaints.
So do we need to put a letter together saying that she's got our permission? So she has something in hand?
I can, yeah.
And then you said you wanted me to let you know when you had, when I had a date set then, before I go out?
I would just leave it open-ended until you get done because you're gonna be weather dependent, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
'cause it may
just
take
for that
you,
last piece.
who knows, you might run into a
Right.
lot of jungle weed and not be able to navigate too easy, so. I think, yeah, and then at least she's got a hard copy. I mean,
Well, that's
it
what I'm
doesn't have to be
thinking.
real intense.
If you
or-
type something together, I can put it on the letterhead
Okay,
and get you to sign it and
Yep.
get a copy to her.
yep, absolutely. Good luck. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion and our decision of date for the August town board meeting due to the primary election on August 9th.
Okay, and let's not figure the next day after.
I was gonna say, are you rested yet?
No,
I was thinking the next week after, like the
that I
16th.
would suggest that, yeah. If you
I'll
don't.
make a motion that we move August monthly board meeting to August 16th due to the election on the 9th.
second the motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of proposal to bundle some town ordinances that need updates or text amendments to send to our attorney for review, then have move the proposed bundled amendments through the process for public hearings and adoption. Ordinances being considered 1-2, 1-4, 1-5, 1-7, 1-8, 1-14, 1-16, 2-7, 3-4, 3-11, 5-3, 5-8, 5-11, 5-12, and 6-4.
So that's an understanding, none of these have any text changes. We just want to make sure that they're all formatted the same and make sure we have all signed copies on hand.
Signed copies, yeah.
Right, there was a mass redo of the ordinances back in 1995 where they reapproved everything, but they didn't create new signed copies of all of them. And this is just kind of a cleanup of all that.
Yep.
The only, 5-8 isn't in here. Is that,
Which one is that?
5-8. I think
I don't know, I was juggling a lot of ordinances. If I missed one, I apologize. The only other thing I ran
Some
across
got
is
stapled
our
together
records
two toys backwards,
ordinances.
so
pardon?
The records ordinances, I wondered, I
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of bundled those together because the state's got one that we can use, and I wondered if we could combine them somehow.
Well, that's a question for the attorney, I think.
Okay,
I saw what you did, yeah. If that's okay, then I would suggest we do that.
you
right.
said 5-8, yeah, because 5-11's in here.
Yeah, 5-8's not,
Okay, so I'll check where 5-8 is.
I don't even know what 5-8 is.
I don't have
You
that
probably
with
thought
me.
5-9.
I'll click for you.
It was based off of the spreadsheet I put together of where all the ordinances currently stood as far as what we have. And Jim had gone through and earmarked which ones could be part of this initial bundling. So I would assume 5.8 would be okay to move forward.
Yeah, I had it on my list to bundle, but, and maybe he left it out for a reason.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if that's one I have to retype. A lot of these have not been typed in modern day.
Yeah.
So I'm retyping a lot of them, which takes a lot of time. Because there's no electronic file on these.
I know Jim
To work with.
Colwell was doing a bunch of them, but it was
I don't think I have this.
6 years ago.
This is not letting me where I want to be either for some reason.
Well, we can drop that one off of the list until we know what it is, if you prefer.
Well, if we include it.
Oh, hang on a minute, maybe I can get to it. I'm getting to it. All right, 5-8, right? Oop. Come on, don't do that to me.
Are you on the spreadsheet?
No, I'm in
Oh,
the,
he's on the ordinance.
Well.
It's not listed on the
it's
website.
not listed on the website.
Because it hasn't been updated for so long.
Yeah, all right, it's one of those.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Got it
And we could do it with the condition that that one is okay to move forward. I'm assuming that's why it's on the list to start with.
Unless there's a big red flag.
Right.
Yep. I'm betting that's what it was, though.
311's another one that's not in here. that's on-
I mean, these were all primarily lack of signatures.
If it's an older one, it's not going to
311.
be on the,
That's not in here either. Those are old ones.
Okay. Well, look at that one too.
311. Okay.
Is that on our thing, agenda?
311 and 5.8.
Like I said, I was juggling a lot of different ones here.
Yeah, you have it on the list, but, and it was on my list,
Right,
but it's not in here. so
not in the
that's-
bundle, okay.
Okay, so if we approve these to be sent to the attorney, we're good. It's just that you have to look for 311 and 5.8.
See what kind of state they're in, if I
Yeah.
need to retype
Yeah,
them.
I guess my only question is, do we want to stagger this approach? Because there's going to be more that we're going to be
Yeah, we're staggering.
dealing with that we were going to have to send to the attorney, and if you wanted to send everything in one lump sum or just stagger
I
this
think we need to
for effort
stagger it
purposes.
because he's only
For
going to be
meetings
able
and stuff
to-
like that.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, all right.
These were the first ones that were just
Sort of the
a
low
review and get them signed. and
Kind of the
format it
low-hanging
correctly.
fruit, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
So I would make a motion that we proceed and send these ordinances to the town attorney for review. 1-2, 1-4, 15, 17, 18, 114, 116, 27, 34, 311, 53, 58, 511, 512, and 64.
Second.
Any other discussion?
The only other thing I'm going to mention is like 3.4, 3.2, and 2.7. I have to retype those yet. I noted that at the top.
Yeah,
So
so we know.
thankfully, they're not a lot, but it takes a lot of time to go back through these and type them up.
Yep.
So I will send those once those are done.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion and/or decision of proposed amendments and minor text updates for town ordinances 3-2, regulation of dumping and waste disposal, 5-13, regulating launch fees at certain launch ramps on Rock Lake, and 5-16, placement of homes and outbuildings on personal land outside of a platted subdivision.
So those in that bundle, they had minor changes, if I remember right.
Yeah, the 513 and 516 were needed to refer to the fee schedule. There was a fee in there, so you take that out, it's on the fee schedule. It just needs to refer to that. 3-2, don't know what that change was.
I got 3-2 here. This one,
Needs to be typed.
it needs to be typed, yep. But then there was the permit application
Application
can be
fee.
found on the fee schedule,
Town fee schedule, yeah.
Okay, so that was.
basically referring to the fee schedule again, and then add
that's
signature
right here.
lines and such.
So
And
you
so,
plan on including these with this first package?
That was the plan. I think it's going to depend on how far I get with all this. This is a lot thrown in with election time. So I will do my best. The placement of homes that was added where under the fee information in the yellow, changing that language again to refer back to the fee schedule.
Fee schedule,
too.
yep.
Okay, so I'm making a motion that we make the minor amended changes to ordinance 3.2, 5.13, and 5.16. And when they're done, then you can send them to the attorney.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of appointment of David Nunley and Deborah Nunley as volunteer election officials for the remainder of the 2021-2023 election cycle.
And they had stepped up and volunteered that they would like to help out. Being that they're a couple, I probably will not have them working at the same time. But additional volunteers are always welcome, so.
Does that mean they work part of the day and one comes in part of the day?
Right,
or-
yeah.
okay.
Just for the sake of the security and just the ethics of elections, I don't prefer to work them at the same time.
You might not want to work together.
And they're not poll workers, they're just volunteer election.
No, they're still considered election officials, because I'll
Okay,
still
so-
put them through some basic training on the
Okay.
elections, because
So then-
everybody should know that.
They're paid.
They're volunteering.
Oh, they are?
They have the option to be paid if they choose to be.
Oh,
They said they would volunteer, so that's what we're going with.
yeah.
Maybe they'll change their mind, I don't.
So then, should we just appoint them as election officials, just in case?
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, so we just lose the word volunteer. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the appointment of David Nunley and Deborah Nunley for election officials for the remainder of 21 through 23.
I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of the road salt contract.
Well, looks like we ordered 120 ton of salt last year and 20 in reserve.
Well, wasn't that initially doubled up though because of removing the sand from the salt?
Hey, good idea, Tom, thank you. Just think the money you'd save in the complaints you wouldn't have.
What's that called? The sand?
Sand, yeah.
Oh.
Clean up.
Yeah, but you'll get the
Garage.
complaints on the lake.
Yeah, I know.
So,
We wanted 160 last year because we were,
okay.
we were thinking of going to all salt in Sherwood Hills area, but that got shot down because of the lake issues. And, so we backed off to 120 and 20. And the way Jason's, I don't know how much he had left, but his email said that we should order the same.
But, and I think this is, like I explained to
We
Tom
had a
earlier,
light
today,
snow
it's kind of
year.
reserves this
No.
much.
That's
It
what's
doesn't mean
scary.
that we have to take all of it, but we reserve this much based on if Jason takes care of the ordering.
And I doubt he's
That's my
gonna take it
understanding.
early because we usually never take it early.
You don't have the trucks to do it.
Yeah, his first delivery's in November or something when
Yeah,
he can
November.
mix it right away and put
But
it in.
actually, Robin, I think this is a must-take delivery except for the reserve, isn't it?
Correct. Yep.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay.
So, I mean, I gotta
I don't know,
contact him.
I've
too.
never done the ordering of this. This is outside of my
previous-
wheelhouse, so.
Last year was 120, the previous year when Hope was, I wasn't on the board that time, you guys did 90.
Yeah, I was gonna say around 85 or 90.
But with all the talk of the salt brining and all that brining thing, and we went through that seminar or whatever with the, on the salt use and calibration and everything, we decided to go to 120.
Yeah, that's fine, the 20
I
reserve.
guess it worked out okay last year.
Yeah.
And like Tom said, we didn't have bad.
Snow year, so I don't know, yeah, what,
We usually go
like I said, I don't
on
know
salt.
how much he ended up with or had left over.
Yeah,
He's
I
got,
asked him.
place to store it over there, but, yeah. So,
I make a motion to approve the 120 ton and 20 in reserve.
I will second it.
any other discussion? All in
Just
favor?
to clarify, Tom will
Tom
be filling
fills it
out,
up.
yep, Tom will fill out the application. If you want to provide me a copy of that so I can throw it in the file before you send it off, that'd be great.
Yeah, I didn't see a drop dead deadline on that.
Yeah,
There is one.
There is one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't,
We had to have a special meeting one year because we had to meet that deadline.
yeah. Bids due by 18/22.
You might have to dig more into the bid information.
Call the county too.
I can ask Brian.
Yeah,
I
they
talked to
order,
him.
they order salt too.
Yeah, because you're on the state list.
Because there's bids and then there's, that's already done. I can just call Brian.
Yeah, 'cause there is
I
a,
feel like it's coming up fairly quickly, so.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Correspondence. Any correspondence?
Yeah, hold on a second. We had a couple of violations notices that came from the county. We hadn't received any for a while, but we did get a couple just recently. Johnson's on Crowville Road received one for camping on their property. Must have been extended camping going on. And then on Shore Hills Road, Barnhart's had one that they were filling, excavating, and constructing a retaining wall and walkway on the shoreland area without necessary permits and approvals. So, if you guys want to look at those or not.
He's on the lake.
One was on the lake. The other notification I got was from Helixson's and from the DNR. They're going to be dredging a pond on their property, and it's just required that they notify us that they're doing this, and so that's what they did, so.
yeah, they had to notify everybody within a mile and a quarter with a certified letter too, so.
Right.
We got,
So I just want to make sure it's on record that we did receive that as required.
Another thing, I was told that there was a barge loading big rocks down on Ferry Park a week or so ago, blocking the ramp. None of us knew about it.
Where? What?
Ferry Park,
What was blocking?
a barge. They were loading big rocks to do some kind of shoreline along on the lake, and Delaney stopped down there, and they didn't have any permits or anything, or they didn't notify anybody, so.
Oh, nice.
So that type of stuff's going on too. That's kind of why I asked about the communication that's going on with the police.
Yeah, but Bob doesn't always communicate
No.
everything back, because he didn't communicate when they hit the dock last year either.
Well, I was wondering if you were on the communication list.
I get what they contact me on.
I mean, he complains about it, but, he doesn't report it, and when he doesn't report it, it ends up costing us money. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that was Dino Docks last year that hit that. And if we would have acted on it right away, then, known about it right away, then we can do something about it, but we don't. All right, meeting scheduled, August 4th, 2022, Parks Committee meeting, 7 PM, Town Hall. August 2nd, 2022, Planning Commission meeting, 7 PM, Town Hall. August 11th, 2022, Joint Rock Lake Committee meeting, 6 PM at City Hall. Public
16th.
Public hearings and the town board meeting will be at 7 PM on August 16th, 2022.
and then our workshop was August, or was.
That's July 28th.
July 28th.
Yeah,
At City Hall.
that one I'll have to post.
Yep.
And
I'm
that
assuming
is-
more than one of you is going.
I'll be joining
Yeah.
Zoom, via Zoom,
And what
or whatever they have.
time, what's that, I'll go back to the email, is it 6 o'clock?
I want to say it's a 6, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
We'll have it notified.
7
like we're
p.m.
supposed to. 7?
7 p.m.
Okay.
You're
Then
not gonna be there, Tom?
I will be attending via Zoom,
Okay.
so I'll be there, but
I plan on going.
unless
Okay, I'll post
Steve
it.
Wilkie locks me out.
So after you move on to the closed session and you read it so it can be heard on the video, then I'm gonna go turn the cameras off so we can go into closed session. So
Nothing to be done with this, right? We did this,
that was, yeah, that's correspondence.
that's it. Okay.
I think that might be actually a different one.
We get a motion to move into closed session.
I'll make a motion to move into closed session pursuant to 1920-85 Wisconsin State Statute.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries to move into closed session.